very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Supreme Court justices divided by boycotting hearings. Nepal Bar Association urges Chief Justice to step down by upcoming Friday. Government issues e-passport. Electronic chips will now replace machine-readable passports. Nepal's coffee export encouraging during pandemic. Government announces program to attract youth towards coffee farming. UN envoy says Afghanistan is on brink of humanitarian catastrophe. Its collapsing economy is heightening the risk of extremism. And Roger Federer to miss Australian Open. Injury forces the Grand Slam champion to withdraw from major events. And now the news in detail. Nepal Bar Association has raised concern over the division among Supreme Court justices who had been boycotting the hearings at the Apex Court. However, the Bar Association has decided to give continuity to its protest, which it claims to be a move to reform the judiciary. The umbrella bodies of legal practitioners have said that the first step towards reforms in the judiciary would be the resignation of Chief Justice Cholendra Samserana. They have given an ultimatum until Friday for the Chief Justice to step down. Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma has said that the government is committed to make the taxation system and the tax administration systematic and accountable to the public. A report. Addressing a program organized at the Inland Revenue Department on the occasion of the 10th tax day yesterday, Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma said that the government would not leave any stone unturned to address the grievances of the taxpayers. He expressed commitments to form a unit to promptly address the hassles and obstacles that surface in the tax administration. Finance Minister Sharma added that a vehicle scanner would be kept at each customs office for facilitating the customs process. The Finance Minister also asserted that the government would act tough to stop tax evasion and revenue leakage, and there would not be any discrimination against any taxpayer. He also directed the customs officials to consider themselves as the servants of the people. Meanwhile, Finance Secretary Madhu Kumar Marasini stressed on stability of tax policy to create investment-friendly environment in the country. He said the government has the policy of expanding the tax preview but not increasing the tax rate. Similarly, FNCCI President Shekhar Golcha said that the industrialists and businessmen were ready to pay tax and urged the government to create a dignified business environment. He suggested the government to make a tax administration prompt and efficient. The government has issued e-passport effective from November 17. Foreign Minister Narayan Khadga formally issued the electronic passport from the Tripureshwar office of the Department of Passports on Wednesday afternoon. Handwritten passports was used till 2010 and machine-readable passports was used after 2010. Now, all the details can be obtained through chip in the electronic passport. Fingers, eyes and face will be captured in it. All the information can be collected as soon as you look at a person's passport. According to the Department of Passports, 7 types of electronic passports, including those for individuals, diplomats, security personnel, going for peace missions, travel documents, temporary passports and record books will be introduced. The e-passport will be fully distributed to the public from December 1, according to the Department of Customs. The department has stated that the bookings will be opened from Wednesday and the passport will be distributed within 2 to 3 weeks. The department has stated that it will be deliver more passport in the short time as it has the capacity to print 1,000 passports in an hour. Israel has expressed its readiness to create more employment opportunities for Nepali laborers. Israel's ambassador to Nepal, Hanan Godar, made such commitment during a meeting with Minister for Labor, Employment and Social Security, Krishna Kumar Shrestha, at the latter's office on Tuesday. Ambassador Godar said that Israel was ready to provide jobs for the Nepalis in other professions besides caregivers. According to the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Social Security, during the meeting, Minister Shrestha requested Israel's envoy Godar to help create work opportunities for the Nepalis in other sectors as well. Currently, there are around 12,000 Nepalese laborers working in Israel. As per the labor pact inked between Nepal and Israel, in 2020, Israel has provided work opportunities for 1,175 Nepali workers as caregivers who are all set to fly to Israel after completing required tests and examinations. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 363 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 818,035, while the number of active cases has dropped to 7,636. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 798,916 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,483 after the virus claimed one more life yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 48.28 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 34.46 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 255.67 million people across the world and claimed over 5.13 million lives. Nepal's coffee export have been increasing even during the COVID-19 crisis, according to the government data. The Development of Customs informed that Nepal exported coffee worth Rs 57.7 million in the fiscal year 2076 and 77 and Rs 96 million in the fiscal year 2077 and 78, a report. Even at a time when the world was struggling with financial crisis due to the pandemic, export of coffee from Nepal doubled in the last 1.5 years, according to the data provided by the Department of Customs. Organizing a press conference in Kirtipur on the eve of the 17th Coffee Day, on Tuesday, Executive Director of the National Tea and Coffee Development Board, Dr. Vishnu Prasad Bhattarai, informed that the export of coffee from Nepal remained encouraging during the time of COVID-19 crisis.
उत्पादकत्वमा पनि अत्यन्तै न्यून भए तापनि विगत 1.5 वर्षको सिनारियो हेर्दा विश्व कोभिडको चपेटामा छ र विश्व आर्थिक एउटा सङ्कटमा परेको बेलामा पनि कफीले आर्थिक पाटोलाई केही हदसम्म पोजिटिभ इन्डिकेसन गरेको देखिन्छ.
The board also announced coffee development program targeting youths in the upcoming fiscal year. Executive Director Bhattarai informed that the program will be launched to give employment opportunities to youth as well as to contribute to the country's prosperity. The board also announced the minimum support price of coffee effective from November 17. According to the board, the support price of coffee was determined by taking into consideration the suggestions provided by stakeholders and the cost incurred by the farmers. As per the price list unveiled by the board, the price of fresh cherry grade A coffee has been fixed at Rs 90 per kg. According to Executive Director Bhattarai, the price of grade B coffee has been fixed at Rs 80 per kg. Similarly, the price of parchment grade A coffee has been fixed at Rs 450 per kg, while that of grade B has been fixed at Rs 397 per kg. Likewise, the price of dry cherry grade A coffee has been fixed at Rs 148 per kg, and the price of grade B of the same category of coffee is Rs 95 per kg. And now the news from economic front. The current microeconomics and financial situation report of the country published by Nepal Rashtra Bank has painted a mixed picture of the economy. A report. The foreign exchange reserves of the country have further declined, while the current account deficit has increased significantly in the first 3 months of the current fiscal year. According to the central bank's report, inflation has increased and remittance inflow has declined further. The gross foreign exchange reserves decreased 5.7% to rupees 1,319.32 billion in mid-October 2021 from rupees 1,399.02 billion in mid-July 2021. According to the report, the remittance inflow has declined by 7.6% in September against an increase of 12.7% in the corresponding period of last fiscal year. Remittance inflow has dropped to rupees 239 billion in the first 3 months of the current fiscal year against rupees 258 billion in corresponding period of the last fiscal year. The current account remained at a deficit of rupees 151.07 billion in the review period against a surplus of rupees 33.38 billion in the same period of the previous year. Likewise, balance of payments remained at a deficit of rupees 76.14 billion in the review period against a surplus of rupees 101.09 billion in the same period of the previous year. Meanwhile, the economy has witnessed increase in the places of foreign direct investment. It has increased by 73.5% to rupees 5.07 billion in the review period. In the same period of the last year, FDI places amounted rupees 2.92 billion. Devkumar Dhakal, spokesperson of Central Bank, said that the overall economy has witnessed improvement. The Central Bank is taking initiatives to make tangible reforms of the economy. It is preparing to take strict measures in importing gold and other luxury items. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Afghanistan is on the brink of a humanitarian catastrophe and its collapsing economy is heightening the risk of extremism, according to the UN's Special Representative for the country, Deborah Lyons. She warned the United Nations predicts 60% of Afghanistan's 38 million people face crisis levels of hunger in a food emergency that will likely worsen over the winter. She said the country's GDP is estimated to have contracted by 40%, but she told the UN Security Council that a humanitarian catastrophe is preventable, saying the main cause is financial sanction on the Taliban who took over the country August 15. Sanctions have paralyzed the banking system, affecting every aspect of the economy, Lyons said. The Afghanistan Central Bank's $9 billion in reserves, most of which is held in the United States, were frozen after the collapse of the former government. Lyons said the paralysis of the banking sector will push more of the financial system into unaccountable and irregulated informal money exchanges that she said can only have facilitated terrorism, trafficking and further drug smuggling that will first affect Afghanistan and then infect the region. You are watching Janata Bulletin and now the latest from the world of sports. Roger Federer says he is unlikely to play Wimbledon next year and has confirmed he will miss the Australian Open as he recovers from injury. The 20-time Grand Slam champion has not played since losing in the Wimbledon quarterfinals in July and having more knee surgery. The Swiss 40 told Le Matin that he does not expect to return to competition until next summer. Federer is tied with Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic on 20 titles in the race to be the most successful men's single Grand Slam champion of all time, and Australian Open organisers would have been hoping to have all three at Melbourne Park for the 2022 event, which starts on 17 January. Nadal, who has been struggling with a foot injury, has said he will be there, but Djokovic has declined to confirm his presence until Tennis Australia reveals the health protocols for the tournament. Djokovic said he hoped Federer would be back on court, but that if his injury did not allow, then Swiss deserve to have a proper farewell. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Supreme Court justices divided by boycotting hearings. Nepal Bar Association urges Chief Justice to step down by upcoming Friday. Government issues e-passport. Electronic chips will now replace machine-readable passports. Nepal's coffee export encouraging during pandemic. Government announces program to attract youth towards coffee farming. UN envoy says Afghanistan is on brink of humanitarian catastrophe. Its collapsing economy is heightening the risk of extremism. And Roger Federer to miss Australian Open. Injury forces the Grand Slam champion to withdraw from major events. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.